Welcome to Bahamas Educational Express Science Lesson Video Weather. Learners will be able to define the term meteorology, meteorologists, climate, and weather. List the weather instruments and list some of the layers of Earth. Meteorology. Meteorology is the study of weather and the atmosphere. Meteorologists. Meteorologists are scientists who study and measure weather conditions. Meteorologists have developed tools for measuring weather conditions such as air, temperature, and wind speed. They use the information from the weather instruments to predict the weather. Earth's atmosphere. The atmosphere is the gas that surrounds Earth. It is a very thin blanket surrounding the entire Earth and is a mixture of gases, solids, and liquids. How is the air made up? The air we breathe is made up of 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, 0.4% carbon dioxide, and 0.6% water vapor. And traces of other gases include the ozone, helium, and hydrogen. The properties of air. The air in the atmosphere has certain properties. Air takes up space and has weight that presses on things. The atmosphere layers. They are troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, ionosphere, and exosphere. These are the atmosphere layers. Here we have them again. Weather takes place in the lowest layer of the atmosphere, which is the troposphere. Elements of weather. Weather is what is happening in the atmosphere at a certain place. Temperature, wind, precipitation. These are all elements or parts of weather. Temperature. Temperature is a measure of how hot or cold something is. Wind. Wind is the movement of air. Precipitation. Precipitation is any kind of water from the atmosphere that falls to the ground. We have snow, rain, and hail. These are forms of precipitation. Climate. Climate is the average weather of a region over a long period of time. Water is measured at various temperatures. Temperature is measured with a thermometer. Most thermometers are made of a glass tube with colored alcohol inside. When the air gets hotter, the level of the liquid in the tube rises. When the air cools, the liquid level falls. Scales on the thermometer. The thermometer has two scales for measuring temperature: Fahrenheit and Celsius. The F stands for Fahrenheit, the C stands for Celsius. The small zero or O stands for degree. Wind direction. Wind vane shows the direction of the wind. The arrow of the wind vane points into the wind. When wind is blowing from the south, it is called a south wind. When the arrow of the wind vane points between two directions, the directions are combined. Example, north and west is called northwest wind. The thermometer. Remember, we use the thermometer to take the air temperature and to tell how hot or cold it is. Another equipment, hydrometer. A hydrometer is a piece of equipment used to measure humidity in the air. Do you know humidity can cause damage to musical instruments such as the pianos and the guitars? Some musicians use the hydrometers to ensure their instrument isn't exposed to too much moisture in the air. So humidity is the moisture in the air. Weather equipment, wind vane. A wind vane is used to show the direction of the wind. It is also sometimes called the weather vane. It has the directions of the compass on it so the wind direction can be read. Weather equipment, anemometer. An anemometer records the wind speed. The wind causes the anemometer to spin and the number of rotation it makes are used to give a wind speed reading. There's also the windsock. A windsock is used to show the wind strength and direction. Weather equipment, barometer. A barometer is used to measure atmospheric pressure. Measuring air pressure gives a good indication of the weather. Falling pressure is an indication of bad weather. Wow! The weather is more likely to be good when the pressure is high or rising. Weather equipment, rain gauge. A rain gauge is used to measure rain and other types of precipitation. It measures in millimeters. It is important to put the rain gauge in a spot that isn't sheltered so that it can accumulate or gather accurately any precipitation. Now, let us look back to see how much we learned, how much we remember. Can you tell the job of the weather instruments? First one, I measure atmospheric pressure. I tell how much rain fall. I tell the direction of Earth. I tell how much humidity in the air. I tell the speed of the wind. I tell how hot or cold it is. Now you can pause the video and see how many you will get right. Okay, are you ready? Number one, atmospheric pressure. What will it be? That's right. That's the barometer. That's right. That's the rain gauge. Then we have the direction on Earth, the compass. We have how much humidity, and that will be the hydrometer. We have the speed of the wind, which is the anemometer. How hot or cold something is, that is the thermometer. Great job, boys and girls. You have now completed your lesson on weather.